Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now, I want to talk a bit about Strange New Worlds, specifically the Gorn, because I want to explain why some people have this theory that someone watched Aliens and they decided that this is the way that the xenomorphs are born. It's actually not. This is the exact same way. If anyone's watched any of Gene Roddenberry's other shows, they would know that this version of the Gorn are not xenomorphs. They're the Magog from Andromeda. You can't tell me they're not because they eat people or they lay eggs in people. It's the exact same thing. They are not the xenomorphs because, for a start, they don't require a face hugger to implant the embryo. So they're not like xenomorphs. And people who are saying that that's what they like, that they are like, then they're wrong. I've said it in the past as well that they're more like xenomorphs than the Gorn. I have, but that was before I realised about the Magog. And yeah, I think that's a good, an important thing to point out. Um, Another thing is, I'm going to show you a picture of all variants of the Magog of not of the Magog of the Magorn um, that came before. So we're gonna. I think there's only like three variants. I haven't seen. I couldn't find any images of any other versions. I guess you could have said that there might have been an animated one in the animated show, but that's besides the point. But we're going to talk about the TOS. Um, Number one is obviously the TOS. That's the one that faced off against Kirk. The middle one is from Enterprise. Um, in a Mirror Darkly, I think part two. I think it was part two of In a Mirror Darkly. And then you've got the third one, which is the Magorn from Strange New Worlds. Um, yeah, there's a difference, right? I mean, you could argue that the first one, TOS had restrictions and limitations on what they could do. So it's just a guy in a suit, right? Just like any other monster movie at that time or in show. But the second one is when CGI took over in Enterprise, and and I think the one in Enterprise is actually very faithful to the original version because I mean it's there. It's a reptile. It's a lot like a T Rex or a Velociraptor in a way, which makes sense. I mean, it is a Gorn. Why wouldn't it look like a dinosaur in a way? And we know that dinosaurs evolve in the Star Trek universe because we had is it the Silurians? Is it the Saurians that were originally from Earth, and they fled, and they produced a, a, a world ship, I guess you could call it. That Voyager came across. Um, but yeah, you can see the differences, and you can see where they went a completely different direction with the Gorn in Strange New Worlds. It's exactly the same as what they did with the Klingons. The Klingons were completely different, but they corrected it because the Klingons were, well, they were more pop. You saw the Klingons more often in Star Trek than you do the Gorn, right? So it makes sense, yeah. But I just wanted to point this out because I mean it's a huge difference. And I've seen people saying that the Gorn seem to be overpowered. So what? It's not necessarily that. It's like think about Earth. In Strange New Worlds, just like with it, it's not. It's only like 100 or so, maybe 200 years as a spacefaring race. The only reason you got the technology that you have is well was obviously shown in Enterprise, but it's been in the lore since since TOS. Let's see if I can remember this. It was the shield technology, I think, was Vulcan. The weapons technology was Andorian, which is why in TOS the phasers are blue, not red. Um, the hull the hull plating was Tellarite, and I think the photon torpedo, the engines were human. I think the engines and reactors are human. I can't remember where the torpedoes would have come from, but I mean that might have come from a combination of the species because I mean the photon torpedoes. It, uh, it was something that was developed in Enterprise in the universe. So yeah, I mean you can see the things. You can see where we get the technology from. Now there, the Gorn hegemony could have been around a lot longer. We also know that they're from a different sector of space. So really and truly, at this point in Strangely Worlds, the Gorn shouldn't really be around. Um, I mean, they should just be rumors. I mean, there should not have been any interactions up, at this point in the timeline. Now, I know people are arguing that it is a different timeline. I like to agree that it is a different timeline, therefore it's a different universe. But they tried their best to link it directly to the original canon. So, and before it was released, they claimed and said, and they made the announcements that it is the prime timeline, but it's not. It's not. Discovery is not the prime timeline. Right. So people are saying that they is the prime timeline. It's not. It's an alternate timeline. This is like the JJ prime. This isn't even the JJ timeline because the technology is different, and this stuff didn't happen because in the 2009 movie, the Enterprise was being built, whereas in Strange New Worlds, it was on a mission for 5 years, so it wasn't brand new at the time. But you've also got to bear in mind that I believe in the original series, the Enterprise is actually about 30 years old when Kirk takes command. So it's not a new ship in Star Trek at all. Um, but they don't want to follow the timeline. They don't want to follow canon or lore. Fine, just don't try and tell us that it is the same Star Trek because it is far from it. Um, but I just wanted to point this out, and hopefully you guys like this video, um, because I mean it's something. It is important to point out that they are not xenomorphs. They are the Magog. Someone on the writers' team or the creative side of it sat back, they watched Andromeda, and they've confused Andromeda. Somehow they're completely different with Star Trek. Somehow, I mean, yes, they're created by Gene Roddenberry. They both are. That's fine, but you can't confuse them. They're completely different. They're completely different shows. Yes, they might be sci-fi, but they are different. So yeah. So let me know what you think down below. Comment any thoughts, ideas, or opinions that you may have. Please do keep it civil, and if you want to support the channel, please do hit that like, hit the subscribe button. There are links in the description below to a tipping page where you can tip us whatever, and also there's a link to the store in the description as well. But until next time, guys, take care, stay safe, and may the Schwartz be with you always.